It's the Jay and Thomas Podcast, an hour of commentary on today's top stories, current events, or just life in general. And here are your hosts, Jay and Thomas Darden.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Jay and Thomas Podcast. Thank you all so much, very much for being out here with us again. It is episode 21. And we've now hit the illustrious 22 subscribers. Thank you all very much for sticking with us all this time. It is fantastic. I'm sure you all very much enjoyed on episode 20 my cute little editing there. And don't worry, it's just going to get worse from here. So that'll be super exciting there. We're going to start the day off as we do every time and ask the man of the hour how he's doing and how is the weather down there in wonderful Playas, Ecuador. So, hey, Dan, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. It's going great. Can't complain about the weather. It's a balmy 70 degrees, 72 with a breeze. Sun popped out for about 5-6 hours today. So life was good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of us in Tennessee and in Kentucky, and I have to wonder what's the sun like, because it's been about a week or so, or maybe a week and a half, and it's just been raining. That's like all it's been doing. I think we had like maybe 2 or 3 hours of actual sunlight yesterday, but it's just been something else. And we're getting into that rainy season, right? We're getting into fall, air quotes, right? It's just
well, that's what Pat said when she was up there. She said it rained every day. Rained every day I was there. She said, and you would think there'd be a break in the front coming through. But there was no breaks. It just rained almost every day. She was there for 10 days. Yeah. And she just came back this past Monday.
I was going to say, did she bring the rain with her? Is that what was going on here? What's the deal?
I don't know what she did, but it hasn't rained here, and so it's all good. I think it misted one day where I had to wipe my sunglasses off of the mist riding the scooter. But I rode over to the airport with your favorite cab driver.
Oh, there we go.
And I was white knuckling the whole way, man, because this guy is balling the jack, baby. He is. He really is.
He's not playing around. But luckily, he knows the roads well enough, and he is skilled enough to where it doesn't seem as though your life is really in danger. It's just more so, hey, we all have sinning to do. And he wants us to get to our destination as quickly as possible.
Yes, I think he's looking for that airport cup of coffee or something.
Hey, could be, or maybe something else coming from the airport. Who knows what's coming off and on those planes. So that's pretty wild.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a pretty interesting week there. Now your significant other's back in the pocket with you, so things I'm assuming are looking a little more normal now down there, which is pretty cool. And
we just been hanging out. So when she came back, she was like, I need to go eat some Chinese down here,
Yeah, there you go. Well, something that's very interesting is that anybody would hanker for Chinese food down there when clearly the superior Chinese food is up here. We actually
might be.
Well, my aunt and I are very big proponents of Fortune House, because now they take credit cards, which they finally jumped into the 22nd century, and they accept credit cards now, and their food is fantastic, especially if you haven't had Chinese food in a hot minute, because since I don't go to work anymore at an office, I used to shop around for my Chinese place, was about a mile down the road. It was a cheer situation where they knew my order and they said, "Oh, hey, how you doing? The same thing, same thing, fatty." And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, the same thing, please." And,
where's Fortune House?
Is
that the one I used to eat at every day?
Right.
Down by
across from Crystal's and in front of
the bowling alley.
Yes, Family Fun Center.
The amusement place.
Yeah. Right.
Used to eat there every day. Vegetable low mein. One egg roll, bottle of water.
Vegetable lo mein, like ridiculous. Get some protein in your life there, good sir. Need that protein.
Well, I was okay. I had enough protein. It just happened to be right in front of the gym.
Yeah.
So when I would leave the gym, I would go there and eat before I went to work. So,
I was going to say, you must have had cash on you, because for the longest time they didn't except a card. But that was back in the day when they more people had cash on them than not. So makes sense.
Do you remember when that building used to be a Captain D's?
No, I have no idea of that.
It's when you first arrived on this earth. That building used to be a Captain D's.
It must not have been one for long. It's funny. I cue up the what's it called? The Jeopardy music, just for silliness. So that was something that'd be fun. I mean, I'll just cut that out and post. But something that I thought was pretty interesting today, there was Crowder is back, and I try to listen to multiple sources of information. And I listened to Crowder more so because of their jokes. So I'm listening to Crowder today, and there was, I think it's Joy Behart was who they were talking about.
She's an idiot.
Let me look on our fangled dangled.
Yeah. She's the one off the 5 or the View or the View or some stupid shit like that. Not the 5, but the View.
I know. Yes. Now we're playing it on my end.
The crickets will be coming in right there.
No, I'll just cut this out. Anywho, there was a female news anchor, and they talked about this on Crowder, where they were mentioning the deaths or hospitalizations, and I believe it was deaths with COVID and whatnot, and it was an interesting point they brought up, at least while I was half listening while I was working or whatever. And they were talking about the lady was talking to her guest who was on there and said there are a lot of people who were dying, and it appears as though a lot of them look like us. Well, of course, in this instance, her and her constituent are African American, and
correct.
That one thing that was interesting to me, because it seemed like they were becoming like, or they were mentioning kind of people being vaccine hesitant, and in this instance, they're saying, I think statistically, and I'm just speaking from what I thought I heard, where a large percentage of the African American population are skeptical about the vaccines. And what they brought up on Crowder's show was, they said when Trump had Operation Warp Speed trying to get this vaccine out, that Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, several other folks in power, air quotes, are with.
If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Political influence said, I'm going to be cautious about this and take it slow, or be very methodical about it, or be very much, oh, hey, wait, like, let's give it some time. But now that we're in a different administration, they're like, well, why aren't you getting vaccinated? That's dumb. And so the tune has definitely changed, and it's something that is so much apparent, or like very cut and dry. It's like some things are pretty ambivalent, and they're kind of out in the aether there. That's very much gray area. But now it's not a gray area in the slightest. It's, you didn't want to do this when somebody else was in office. It doesn't matter who it was, because if the opposite was, like if the times were reversed and you said, oh, it's Democrat and then Republican, and then now you're vice versa, that just seems like a very dishonest message, it seems like. And since not a whole lot's going on right now, air quotes, in terms of the news and everything, it just seems as though they're kind of it's very much apparent that people are stirring the proverbial pot because not a whole lot's happening, if that makes sense.
Right. Sure it does.
Joe's on vacation. You don't hear about Kamala Harris anymore. And there's just not a whole lot to talk about that would be stimulating or eye-catching to the average American. And it's just, I don't know. It's pretty interesting to me that it was that apparent, that the juxtaposition of their positions are that much like it's just very clear and cut and dry. Like, oh, people are dying right now. Well, okay. I mean, the one thing that I really like about the internet nowadays and all of these shows that you'll find is like, you understand the internet is like a thing, and everything you ever say is archived somewhere, and people are going to bring it up and shove it into your face. And it's just incredible to me that I guess people forget, or they think that the internet can be scrubbed of certain things, and it just isn't going to be. I mean, there's just going to be so much time or so many times or so many instances where people either forget or have to change stances. And it's like, we can literally pull this up side by side and say, you just said this a year ago. What's happened now? Now, I understand that as human beings, we want to try to say, hey, everybody can change for the better and people can get better. And you know, with more evidence, people get, air quotes, smarter, hopefully. And that could potentially be the case, but it just doesn't seem like that's the way it's going right now. It almost seems as though the American public have the attention span and memory of a goldfish.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Well,
it's kind of wild.
Like we've talked about, if it doesn't affect them personally, if it does, it's kitchen table politics. If it doesn't come to their kitchen table, they don't care. They can say they do, but they don't care until it affects, you know, Johnny on the soccer field or Susie at piano practice or karate practice or whatever. They don't care, as long as it doesn't upset their day-to-day apple cart. And so they just go along to get along, and they have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. No idea what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, that's fair to a degree, and I wouldn't necessarily come out and say that people don't know what's going on, but a lot of folks might have some perception of it, but they don't. I don't know. When you say it might not be like it's framed as though there's little interest to it, where honestly people just might be confused about what's happening because so many outlets are saying so many different things that it's too much to handle. Like,
I tell you what you do. You go Saturday down and go out in front of Sam's or go out in front of Indian Lake Shopping Center, and you get you a microphone with some kind of recording device, and you walk and ask people, you know, have somebody filming it if you want to make it look official or something. And you start asking people about news items that are going on. Ask them about Del Rio, Texas. Ask them about Afghanistan. Ask them what they think about H.R. 1, which is the voting rights bill. Ask them what they think about the $3.5 trillion rebuilding bill that they're trying to push through, and see if you don't get some see how many people are really up on their stuff, even with the internet to educate them. See how many people really are up on it.
No,
it's like Waters' world. Jesse Waters used to go around and ask people questions, and he'd get some of the most ignorant answers to simple questions. Simple questions.
No, I don't have to do that because I know exactly. I would go out there and you would get people who would just sound like ignoramuses. I mean, they have no idea. However,
Barack Obama had a big part of 9/11.
Which part?
Not being around, always on vacation, never in the office.
Why do you think Barack Obama wasn't in the Oval Office on 9/11?
That I don't know. We'd like to get to the bottom of that.
That's not.
I think it'd be fun.
Well, one of the issues is that nowadays you're going to get probably either an or you're going to get cited some random article where somebody read the headline and stopped.
Right.
And that's just kind of how it is. But
or you might have a gun pulled on you and get mugged. You never know. Depends on where you are.
That's very fair. Well,
yeah.
One of the things to think about too in that instance is, what if I was open carrying? Do you think people would be more or less apt to talk to me in that instance?
where you live, they're probably going to be more apt to talk to you because they're going to think you're one of the good guys.
You know,
because you live in a state that, you live in a red state.
I thought it was humorous when there are several people out and about who say if you open carry, you're an idiot, basically. And to me, I'm thinking to myself, I didn't understand that because I look at like a police officer or somebody in the army or somebody who tactically needs to have access to their weapon all the time.
Right.
And people who give folks who open carry a hard time, it's like, well, they just want to be Billy Badass. And it's like, okay, well, then why don't police concealed carry? Or why don't the military, in many instances, concealed carry? They might have some hidden weapon, but it's not their main weapon, right?
Right.
And to that end, it always confuses me when they'll get real adamant about it. The folks who I've heard where they're like, yeah, they're just idiots. And you want to open carry, you want to feel more like a badass than actually do anything. And to me, I mean, your actions speak louder than your words.
Right.
Well, think about it like this for a second. If I'm open carrying, and let's say I'm just chilling inside a restaurant or a bar or whatever, and I'm not drinking, I'm just sitting there hanging out, eating some chicken fingers because I'm a large adolescent. And do you think you're going to act like an idiot if you see a gun?
No, it can go two ways. People just leave you alone or people, mess with you. It can go two different ways.
Right. Well, but to that end, the point being is, let's say that you have the weapon concealed. Well, for one, it's harder to get to unless you are very apt at utilizing your weapon and getting to it and yada yada.
Right.
And so somebody might be messing with you and they don't know you have a weapon. So are you actually like deceiving them to then like open yourself up to be fucked with and then you shoot them, but you had the right of way?
Like I said, it can go two ways.
But does that make sense? Where if you're hiding the weapon, isn't it a little more on you if they mess with you further than you letting them know right from the get-go, like, is this the road you really want to go down?
Right.
Because if it is...
And if you tell them that and you tell them you're armed and they continue...
Right.
Then it's going to be a bad day for somebody.
Sure. Well, right.
Absolutely.
Well, and that's the best part is, I think you've mentioned it before, nobody wins in a fight.
Right.
Like nobody wins. And it's absolutely wild. But it's kind of crazy to me just where that thought process comes from, because your weapon.
Well, that's the problem. Most people don't think it through.
Well, I mean,
they don't think it through. There is no thought process because they don't think it through.
Well,
or they wouldn't mess with somebody carrying a gun.
Well,
when I lived there, I always carried a gun. Always carried one, but I didn't open carry because it was nobody's business I had a gun. It was nobody's business that I was carrying a gun.
Well, my question or mild shot comes from the folks who you would think it doesn't really matter if someone's open carrying or not, but they'll always tell you, no, if someone actually shows that they have a firearm, they're dumb. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't get it. And
I don't think it's dumb. I see people walking through Walmart strapped. That's what they want to do. That's fine. I don't think any more or less of them. That's just how they want to roll, man.
Well, I think tactically that's just, it doesn't make as much sense if someone has, the gun behind them or, in their pants and then shoot their stuff off or whatever when they're trying to, hold their, it looks like they're grabbing for their crotch and they're going for a weapon. I don't get it. Now, if
it's their right to bear arms, so let them roll.
Right. Well, and here's the deal. If they want to conceal it, I don't mind that in the slightest. My big thing is coming at somebody, air quotes, adding someone, yay for young people's speech, and say, oh, well, that person's dumb because they just want to feel powerful because everyone sees that they have a weapon. And it's like, okay, is that what you think of the police or any active military or whatever? Like, I don't know. Just seems strange to me, but it's all good. So,
We just turned the dog loose on them.
right? Yeah. You just let the two dogs go. That's one thing that is kind of wild too. Is have your dogs ever like actually attacked anything?
One time,
Mm-hmm.
a lady was visiting across the street, and she came over and she had this little bitty, I don't know, Shih Tzu or Dustbuster or whatever the hell you want to call it. Hell, it wasn't 12 inches long. Probably didn't weigh 2 pounds. I don't know where this came from, but we opened the gate, and Shine, the big dog, got out of the gate and attacked this little dog. Now I don't know I don't know if the dog flipped it off or I don't know what it did. I've never ever in my life seen Shine do anything like that, become that aggressive. But it had that dog in its mouth in about 10 seconds. It was the craziest thing you'd ever seen. And this lady, of course, the dog was on a leash, and so she's pulling like this, and I'm grabbing Shine by the back of the neck, and trying to get her to break, and she let go of it, and the lady was just like, oh my god, and I'm thinking, there goes thousands of dollars worth of veterinarian bills,
right.
But I don't know what set her off. She's never ever done like that, never done anything like that. Rosie's never jumped up on anybody. I mean, never. She jumps up on people all the time, but she's never attacked anybody.
Something that
or anything.
This is a dog that has passed on to the great beyond, so the statute of limitation is gone. My sister's dog, Roxy, that's at my mom's house, or had an instance, where there was a little like Dachshund. It looked like a little wiener dog, but it was long haired. I've never seen one before in my life. Very pretty dog. And Roxy looked like a small horse. I mean, that large, huge, gigantic chest. And Roxy was a boxer, like a full grown, ready to go. I mean, take on Mike Tyson kind of boxer. And
right.
This little dog, like Emma or something like that, I think nipped at Roxy. And Roxy, is cross-eyed, ready to go, man, just like doesn't know what's happening, but definitely knows, oh, you bit me in the face? Well, Roxy was fully grown. I mean, almost the size of a pony. And Emma, this little wiener dog, was the perfect size for getting into Roxy's mouth. And Roxy goes, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And my uncle is at mom's, Joseph, everybody's there, the kids are there, they start screaming because they're like, oh, this dog's just becoming mincemeat just in Roxy's mouth, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Absolutely wild. And of course, mom's freaking out, everyone's like losing their minds and everything. And I mean, she was fine in the end, but it was definitely like, I'll have to clip in an alligator doing the death roll where it's just,
Oh, so he's doing the drowning.
And they spin like 100 miles an hour, just losing their minds. And it was absolutely incredible. Just hearing that story, because I couldn't help but laugh, just because it was just so outlandish that there wasn't anything else to do. They're like, this dog just gets Roxy in the face, and it's a scenario where I know a lot of little dogs have like the Napoleon complex, right, where they don't know how large they are and they think they can take on the world, and then it reminds me very much of certain social activists when it comes to getting maced in the face or getting beat the hell up when they want to take on whatever sort of power they are looking to do. It's absolutely wild. So something that I just thought was just kind of crazy. But
Well, we were very lucky. Nothing happened to the little dog other than everybody was just about to shit their pants. But
well, you know,
she's never done anything like that since. Never done it up until then, and never done it since. So I don't know what that little dog, what was about it to set it off. But
well, maybe the
she
little
went
dog.
straight for it.
Yeah,
Straight for it.
maybe the little dog like rolled around in some steaks or something
I
like
don't know.
that. Yeah,
I don't know what it was.
And
But
it just went kind of wild. I don't know. That seems pretty crazy to me though. But they I don't know, man. That's something that's pretty wild. And these I don't know, dogs are something else. Appreciate them. And Gina and I are looking for, or my aunt and I are looking for a couple of dogs right now where really need to figure out, what's the best breed and who do we who do we go to? Like a lot of my constituents or my peers and friends and stuff will tell me to adopt a dog, which I think would be fantastic. Saving a dog from the clutches of the system, which I mean that just kind of seems like what it is. Joy Reid is the lady's name. I knew it was Joy something, but Joy Reid is the.
She's an idiot.
So, but anywho,
Complete idiot.
well, alrighty then.
And a liar.
But yeah, they said that adopt a dog, but if you're in the market for a specific breed, it's really hard to adopt one, right? Because either you're looking for a breed and it's just like if it's a popular
Well,
one.
you don't know the legacy. If you go into the humane shelter, you're not going to know the legacy of the dog because they don't know.
Correct. Right.
And they don't have any papers or anything on the dog or where it came from or whatever.
Yes, but the point is, if you're going to adopt a dog, you don't care what the legacy is. You just are trying to save an animal.
That's true.
So it's something that's kind of interesting.
I think we got our dogs off of Craigslist. Well, one dog. We got Shine off Craigslist. And went over to the lady's house, and it used to be real little. But now she weighs 75 pounds.
Right. Yeah, Shine was
Rosie.
like
Rosie
a
has a
large
sister
rat
that looks just like her. She got Pat got her from a friend of a friend, and Rosie's got a sister that's tan and white, looks just like her. And they gave her sister to somebody that said they wanted her, but then they didn't want her, so they got her back. And I said, "Man, it's too bad we didn't have two Rosies."
Yeah,
she's real mellow. I
definitely should have taken y'all up on the get Rosie's sibling, because that would have been a pretty good mix, I think. But we'll keep looking. One thing I thought was interesting with the whole dog situation is Ms. Carr has recently come to find out that red Labradoodles, they shed, like they have kind of longer hair. Well, a redheaded dog, like you're gonna see that hair everywhere, man. I mean,
what is a Labradoodle? What the hell is that?
Hold on, I'll show you. Labradoodle. It's a really pretty dog, but where we at? Oh my goodness.
Don't be looking at the cute dog pictures while I'm on the other end of this thing.
Oh, yes. So what's humorous is hold on. I have to actually do this.
It's okay. I'll look it up later.
Well, so yeah, I'll have to cut in.
Everybody watching,
right?
Yeah.
I'll have to cut in. Well, actually, this only actually captures the Discord window at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't capture the desktop anymore. But yeah, I'll send you something it's a red Australian Labradoodle, and it's the mix between a Labrador and a poodle. Adorable dogs. Oh my goodness.
A
They're
Labrador and a poodle.
yes.
How did they? Never mind. Never mind.
Very carefully. That's how you make Labradoodles. So, like to me, I just want a larger dog. I would love like a
Right.
German Shepherd or a Lab or something like that. And then some people want the designer brands that are just, cute, hopefully hypoallergenic and don't shed a whole lot. So, I mean, can you imagine there was one point in time where we actually domesticated wolves? Like that's what dogs are. It's just absolutely crazy.
Probably so.
So it's
There was a guy that pulled up out front the hotel next door when I was sitting on the porch the other day on the veranda on the top floor, and he got a Great Dane out. And I mean, the Great Dane, walked up, and looked over the 8-foot wall. So
yeah, right.
I was
That's
like,
exactly
I was
right.
like, holy crap, man! I want to put a saddle on it. Let your daughter, it's like 5 years old, ride that baby. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
man.
huge dog, huge dog.
You'd be surprised at the activity level of a Great Dane because I've heard that they're pretty good like apartment dogs, and they don't have to like do as much. Where there are several different other breeds of dogs that gotta get up and get out and actually run around like all a lot in a day, and
Right.
a Great Dane just doesn't have to do that stuff. I mean, Scooby Doo had it right, man. He just chills and eats Scooby snacks, man. So that's might be one of the reasons why they were able to do that. So I don't know.
Did he ever drive the van?
Scooby?
Uh-huh.
Not that I'm aware of. Hell,
Okay.
they didn't even let Shaggy drive the van because he was blitzed out of his mind,
I
being
was going to say, he
stoned
was
all the
high
time,
most of
dude.
the time, wasn't he?
Well, I was gonna say like we need Scooby snacks, Scoob, and it's like that 100% is like one of their deranged brothers who Scooby snacks was code for, like THC laced biscuits or something. I just ridiculous. Shaggy was out of his mind, man. One thing that is kind of funny, if I can find a clip of it, I'll put it in there.
This can go two ways, punk. One, you walk away. Two, I walk on your face.
It's something where Shaggy has become a bit of a meme, and in one of the cartoons, it's became something where I think he may have been drugged by somebody or under hypnosis by somebody, and he fights off like 15 bikers in one of the cartoons, and he says, "I'm only at 1% of my power, man." Hilarious. So now the joke or the meme is where Shaggy is like a godlike level power strength person and can just kick the crap out of anybody. And he and they are like very close to making that canon because it's all Shaggy's always been the butt of the joke, right? And everyone was looking at Daphne and thinking, "Oh man, she's super hot." And then of course everyone grew up and it was like, "Oh, Velma's the one you want," and yada yada. We won't get into nerd sexual preferences there, but it's just pretty funny where Shaggy has now become like his own thing, which I thought was pretty humorous there. So out there kicking the crap out of random bikers and now even like Mortal Kombat characters because as we all know, companies are just merging and merging and merging, and so you're getting to the point where like WB owns Mortal Kombat, so, like, random things like that where people are buying the licenses for just all sorts of silliness. So be pretty crazy down there. So how long have you been in Ecuador so far?
We came April the 13th.
And how many months is that? Roughly 5
May,
months.
June, July, August, September, close going on 5 months.
So have you seen a movie in Spanish yet?
No, sir. I have not.
Severe disappointment. Like I'm waiting for that story because I think that'll be hilarious. Where you see a movie, like you could probably bootleg it online in English, but to go watch it in Spanish, it would be interesting to see if it was actually as entertaining, or if, let's say, they might even have like English subtitles. That would be kind of cool. Because there are,
there's a theater in the mall.
Yeah, that's why I keep asking.
We just haven't.
Right onto it.
We just hadn't been. We just hadn't been. I try not to go to the mall if I can, but sometimes you just can't help it.
That's fair.
Well,
one thing it'll make you crazy going down there.
I was pretty excited though. I had a 6-pack of beer sitting on the scooter on top of I had a bag of dog food. I had a 12-pack of Sprite, and I had a 6-pack of beer on top of the Sprite. It's how they're cello wrapped here. They're vacuum wrapped in plastic, and the beer fell off.
I need to put
went tumbling down the street.
I gotta put in man down. Man down. You're right. Man down. Something in post.
Yeah. And so I slammed on the brakes and skidded to a stop. And it was funny because normally I jump off and run back, but I hit the gas and did a U-turn and came back up beside the beer.
Yeah.
And then I looked, there's people driving straight at me, and I'm going, the other way, move over. I don't want you to hit my beer and explode the rest of it. So I pick it up. I just pulled over to the side, and I sat there for a few minutes, let it drip, and I thought, well, I'll just when I get home, I'll figure it out. So I set it back up there and drove on home. I only lost 2 cans out of a 6-pack of beer.
Okay.
At 60 kilometers on the highway, that beer tumbled, and I only lost 2 cans out of that. Thank you. I thought that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So what is
Pretty
60?
I don't know. I was probably doing about 50, maybe 45, 50.
You have to figure out your kilometers per hour because.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I just go, man.
Yeah, you do. Because that is ridiculous. So 60 kilometers an hour is 37 miles per hour. So
is that all?
Yeah, that all. Thank you, Imperial System. America, baby. So yeah, when you're out there, like
I thought I was 60. Zipping down the highway, man. I was doing 60 kilometers.
Yeah, more like having people like go around me, and they're like, I got away, gringo. You know what I'm saying?
They passed me like I was tied to a tree, man.
Well, we know why, because you're only going about 30 miles an hour. So
it doesn't seem like it. That's for sure. It doesn't seem like it when you got that baby in third gear and you're rolling down the road.
It seems like you're going 90 when you are out and about, and like all you have is this little eggshell helmet, and you're just waiting for the dump truck to go round, and it's like, it's like, oh, okay, and so it might invariably seem like you're going a lot faster, but it's all up here. It's all in the mind. You're not going that fast.
That's right. That's exactly right.
But we're probably thankful for that, which like we're not mad at you, because that means when I was going like 40 kilometers per hour, I was like, I'm gonna die, and it's like, dude, you're going like 20 miles an hour, and it's like, sitting there holding on for dear life. So something else. But
I'd like to have a 1100.
Oh,
1100 BMW Touring or something to go out that highway on about 80 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, the problem is
a real 80 miles an hour.
That's fine if you want to go 80, but you're only going to go 80 for like 2 miles, and then you're going to hit a speed bump. I mean, it's ridiculous that they have that there. Now, granted,
their speed bumps are like 18 inches tall and like 10 feet wide.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's taking like 30 seconds to get over that thing.
Right.
Well, I was going so fast the other day, I went airborne. When I hit, the big speed bump you're talking about on my scooter, I swear that might have been when the beer came out. But I did. I actually went airborne when I came across that speed bump. And I was. Yeah, needless to say, my wife wasn't riding along with me, so.
I don't know if the scooter would have been able to handle two people.
No, I'm saying she usually rides in front. And she slows down to go over that speed bump. No, I wasn't slowing down. I hit that baby as wide open as I could get.
About as
at
wide
that
open
particular
as I
time. Yeah, that's right. Wow.
You were a goddamn sexual tyrannosaur, you know?
That's right.
Like Jesse
exactly
Ventura.
right.
That's it. So
that's it.
that is that's pretty crazy there. Well, you know, craziness aside, random atrocities and yada yada. It's pretty it's humorous to me that a lot of the shows that we currently watch are like, nah, not much is going on. And I'm thinking to myself,
that's a good thing.
Where
come on, man.
Come on, man. It's a scenario where it's almost like is the old adage good where no news is good news? Is that the case in this instance?
No, they're just suppressing it. They're trying to change and distract you because now all of a sudden Afghanistan ain't on the front page. And Del Rio, they're trying to put the Haitians of Del Rio, Texas on the front page. Well, what happened to the other migrants that were coming across the border at McAllen and Reynosa and all down through there? You know, what happened to all those people coming across the border in California and New Mexico and Arizona? Y'all keep focusing on Texas instead of looking at the other states that border Mexico. So there's more shit going on. They just don't want you to focus on it. Now that the political ramifications are over with, the story that's leaking out that they came out with today was, well, maybe those Hunter Biden emails and laptop might be for real. We might ought to look into that. Are you kidding me? 18 months later, but you suppressed it when it could have affected the election. Because you know Joe was involved because you got pictures, you got audio footage, you got what's his name, Bobolinsky, that was a witness. So you got all the facts and all the stuff about the Hunter Biden emails and the laptop and all that kind of stuff. But you suppressed that for 18 months because it had political ramifications. Now nobody cares. So we're gonna go, well, maybe Hunter did smoke some left-handed cigarettes, or maybe he did lay up with some girls with questionable morals. Maybe get the fuck out of here.
And I remember when I was starting out as a young barber, I felt so alone.
Nobody cares, Bill.
I guess, but you know, it just shows that there was some money exchanging hands with China. That's all I'm saying. There was money exchanging hands with China before Joe got to be president.
So what do we do with that information? Like, let's say
nobody's going to do anything, Jay. That's the problem. Is nobody's going to do anything.
Okay, look.
You know, and we've already been over this, and I get all jacked up about it because nobody's going to do anything about it. Oh, and that's the other thing.
When you call me by my first name, you make me a little millennial stressed, as I'll say.
Does that scare you?
Hold up. No, it doesn't scare me in the slightest because you're all the way out there and I'm over here. So you can't really like do a whole lot.
You watch yourself, buddy. Let me get up here. You watch yourself.
Yeah. Get the
let me get up to that camera. You got a pen? Write this down. Okay.
Who uses
you ready? You type fast. Type fast enough where you don't have to write it down.
Look. Hey, you ever use one of these pens right there?
Yeah, fountain pen.
Yeah.
It's called a fountain pen. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I know what it is. I was wondering if you knew what it was. Go ahead.
Watch yourself. Liberty.
Yeah.
Score.
Okay.
Conservative Review. You can go on there and get a report card of how your senators and Congress people They get a scorecard. They get a report card. That's what I'm trying to say. They get a report card, and it tells how they're doing. And every political person in the state of Tennessee is getting an F on the grading system.
I'm looking to see. I'm going to put a link to this thing in the
Okay. It doesn't matter what state you live in. It's got all the states listed. Right. It's got all your political people listed, however many representatives you have, however many senators you have, and it's got them from every city, statewide. And then out beside it, it's got a percentage score, just like you get on a report card in school. And every one of the people in Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn, Steve Cohen, Cooper, Haggerty, all of those people, F. They're all failing. They're all failing.
Now hold on.
So nobody's gonna do anything.
Hold up. You are.
The conversation was a little lacking, so I thought I would get it going.
Whoa. You are implying a lot here when you're saying the Tennessee folks have all Fs. Okay, well, they have all Fs from a conservative point of view, right? But we've already talked about this. The point is not to be conservative or liberal or whatever. It is to be lukewarm so you do not get spewed from people's mouths, right? They need to fly under the radar, get reelected. Yeah. They need to get reelected. They need to not ruffle any feathers because eventually, politics is going to dissolve and they're going to vote themselves in forever. And then make it a thing where it's like, once you become an elected official, you're just there forever. Now, they haven't come up with that yet, but it's coming. Because
they have at the Supreme Court. You know that, right? Once you're appointed
correct. Once you're in, you're in.
Approved.
But with that being, actually, that is something that's I saw online here recently is they're going to come up against Roe v. Wade again. Right. Which, could you imagine if that gets overturned? Pandemonium, dogs and cats living together sort of thing. And to me, I have had so much influence both ways with that sort of thing. I don't know whether to, wave or salute.
Wave or salute.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
it's just something that is it's wild to me. And for so long, I thought to myself, like, abortion is wrong, right? But you have so many instances where it doesn't feel wrong if that were going to occur. And I know people personally who have had them, and it's a very, very big decision.
It's very devastating.
It's catastrophic. And so to that end, I don't have a say over what a lady does because, hey, that's just how it is. Now, if it was my child, that might be different. Right. I think it would be. But one thing I like to see is fair is fair.
If you have a dick, you need to shut the fuck up on this one. The right to choose is their unequivocal right. Not only do I believe they have the right to choose, I believe that they shouldn't have to consult anybody except for a physician. And ladies, to be fair to us, I also believe if you decide to have the baby, a man should not have to pay. It's my money, my choice.
Okay, so if you want to...
you be careful.
I'm going to have a real hot take here, okay? If you want to have that child and have abortion up to the point where even the child is born and keep it comfortable, like that senator who, like in Virginia or West Virginia, said they'll deliver the child, keep it comfortable, and then decide with the parents what they want to do, go for it. But I'm not paying a dime in child support ever. Ever. Never, ever. Because if the lady has the opportunity to terminate that life, then the man, in this instance, and this is a Dave Chappelle thing, which I just lost my mind at. It was wonderful. Is like, well, then I'm never going to pay for that child ever, because if you have the opportunity to bring it in or out of this world without my say so, I have the say so whether or not my money goes towards that life or not.
My son,
Yes?
I'm not touching that with a 60-foot pole. Next caller.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, it's a scenario you've actually gone through that process with me, right? Like, and hey, it's okay if you didn't want to pay the air quotes, the dues, because honestly, that should have been your choice, right?
That wasn't what the judge said.
Right. But did you enjoy paying that money?
Have you met your mama?
Okay, that's not my question. You can't answer this question with another question.
Oh, I didn't mind.
The answer is no.
I didn't
No
mind.
one likes giving that money away. The
I
whole
didn't
point is
mind
this.
because I knew you'd be taken care of.
No, you didn't. So
between your aunt and your mama, I knew that you'd want from that thing.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha,
Okay.
gotcha. So
Let's throw it all the way out there.
So the point being in this case is you want to talk about the Liberty Score conservative review kind of thing. Well, that's a conservative view where the judge says the man should pay for the child, but the woman should have every right to terminate it if possible. Okay, well, all those people getting Fs on these scores, well, that's exactly what made you fall into that proverbial trap, if that makes sense. So do you want people to stay conservative? If that's the kind of thing people got to go through?
Crickets.
Add the crickets.
Yeah, crickets.
But the point being, I mean, that's just kind of what you're looking at. And when it comes to are people being conservative or liberals or whatever, no, I think all politicians who aren't just in like not purple states, either whether like it's left or right or whatever, they're just there to remain lukewarm, because you can keep that like in your mouth for a long amount of time.
This is all politicians. This is, and you can say this is all politicians. There you go. 7 seconds.
It's a fun little clip to be sure. And hey, I understand that there are instances where support and all that is necessary and whatnot, but you can't have it both ways.
Oh, you're right.
You know,
you're right.
You can't have, hey, it only matters to one party because of X. Because here's the deal. I so wish I could clip in a Daniel Tosh reference, but the algorithms are so in depth and so accurate that like they can listen to 10 seconds, and if it knows the voice of who it is or what the sketch is, they're like, nope, stop. And Daniel Tosh is like, hey, let's sell some Dysons, man. You want me to push abortion? Let's do it. Suck it out of there, man. And of course, it's Daniel Tosh, so it's absolutely wild and crazy. But hey, okay. Right? Like, that's the kind of message you're getting, because if that's what's important, I'm okay with it. I'm all about it. Does it make me sad? Like, do I cry at the thought of it? 100%. But I'm not going to stand in the way of that.
Okay.
So, it is what it is, man. Let's do it.
Speaking of gynecologists, there was a gynecologist, and he was really very good, but he was tired of all the malpractice issues and the lawsuits and the insurance and all the stress that went along with his job. So he decided to do something different that he could do with his hands. And so he decided to be a mechanic. And so he got all the stuff, and he signed up for night classes to be trained to be a mechanic because he got all the books and all the tools and got everything. So he started training to be a mechanic. Well, when the exam came, he took the exam. Well, when his score came back, he was given the score of 150%. Well, he thought, hell, this is something's wrong here. So he called the professor and he said, hey, I'm not looking to give horse in the mouth with my grade, but I thought there might be an error on the grade. Can you explain how I ended up with 150%? And so the professor said, sure. You took the engine apart completely and you did it perfectly. So that was 50%. He said, and then you put the engine back together perfectly. And that was the other 50%. And he said, and he goes, something I'd never seen before is you did it all through the exhaust pipe. So I gave you another 50%. I thought that's kind of cute.
Wow. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Thank you for lightening the proverbial air there. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I just saw that today. I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, how serendipitous that we come to that sort of joke there. It kind of was ready to go, but yeah, that's something that our beautiful subscribers can talk about in the comments and think about and stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe. Appease the
comment, subscribe, thumbs up,
That's
and
it. Yeah,
smash
the bell.
Tell all your friends. That's the deal. Tell all your friends.
Yes, appease the proverbial
If you tell
YouTube
2,
overlords.
10, and they tell 10, and they tell 10. There you go.
So that is one thing that is kind of interesting is in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you think I'm an asshole? Which most people do. So join the club. What do you think?
I refuse to comment on the grounds it may. Never mind.
Yeah, right. That's it. Or hey, do you want to get on and debate this topic or any topic in between? Something that we most certainly would be happy to do for you, or just listen to your side of the story, or just any story in general, or etc. etc. So
life in general.
Yeah. Hey, let us know, and if you want to come on, that would be awesome, and we'll get you set up and all that and whatnot. So pretty, as Bo Burnham would say, that's pretty intense. Watch his special on Netflix. It is worth the 90 minutes.
All through the exhaust pipe.
Right. And so the next time you have to do something, make sure you do it all through the exhaust pipe for extra credit. That's right. It for sure. So we almost hit the proverbial hour mark. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss in this hour, good sir?
Nothing I can think of.
Nothing you can think of, eh? Well,
nothing that they would let me talk about and record it and put it on YouTube. So no.
Well, what's cool is we're at a point in our YouTube existence where you can literally talk about pretty much whatever you want, and until we get those views, and it comes in the several thousands, then they're not going to worry too much about the small fries coming out of Playas, Ecuador, and Tennessee there. So
okay,
it's not too big a deal. But also, let us all know in the comments below if you're going to get the new iPhone. I'm looking to get the new Professional Maximum iPhone 13. That'll be super exciting. Where this camera is okay for recording and whatnot. Where when I say this camera, I mean my phone that's recording right now. It's a pretty good camera actually, but the new cameras on the 13 Pro Maxes are almost cinema quality. So I can't wait to see the kind of stuff we're recording and doing in the future. So that'd be pretty cool. So we'll kind of see how that's going. And the recording of that most definitely takes up more space. So you can get up to 1 terabyte of storage space on your phone, which to me is just absolutely outlandish. Like, it's just nuts where the first computers would fit inside of a gymnasium, and then now you can have something that has 1 terabyte hard drive in it or storage space in the size of like, a 6-inch square or a 6-inch rectangle. It's just,
wow.
It blows my mind for sure. So, but yeah, glad that your significant other got back safe and good to go. And those cats are getting huge. You're gonna have to bring them on, next time, so we can kind of see what's going on, how big they are, and everything.
I'm sure they're around somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're getting into mischief and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we'll have to get cat updates, because eventually they'll be huge and be able to mess with the dogs and troll around the the compound and all that. So that'll be pretty cool and whatnot. So be good stuff. But thank you all so much for watching the Jay and Thomas podcast. It is a pleasure to speak out to you all, and even though we might get on some proverbial soapboxes and speak nonsense, y'all are sticking with us, and thank you very much to our 22 subscribers. Y'all are fantastic, and we hope to see y'all in the next episode.
See you.